Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradari Yashodhanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodhanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Yashodhanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodhanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Radha Kalashanji Radha Kalashanji Shri Radhe Jaya Radha Govinda Radha Govinda Shri Radhe Jayo Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Shri Radhe. Jayo Radha Shama Sundar Radha Shama Sundar Shri Radhe. Prabhupada, 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 Jaya, Jaya, Prabhupada, Prabhupada. Shri Shri Radha Madhava Ki Jai. Shri the Prabhupada Ki Jai. Let's see if we can deepen our voice a little bit. Sometimes I get it pretty high and I can tell people struggle. Like, come on, Nanda Braja, bring it down. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. We can sing the prayers together here. Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devyam sarasvatim vyasam tato jayam mudirayat. And we'll even do the English before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the very means of conquest. One should offer respectful obeisances unto the personality of Godhead, Narayan, unto Narayan, Narayan Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and to under Sri Vyasadeva, the author. Nashtabreya Shabreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Utamashloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. By regular attendance in classes on the Bhagavatam, and by rendering service to the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed, and loving service unto the personality of Godhead, whose praise with transcendental songs is established as an irrevocable fact. Om Gyandimarandasya Granjana Shalakaya Chakshuranmritam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. I was born in the darkness of ignorance, and my spiritual master so kindly opened my darkened eyes with the torchlight of knowledge. I offer my respectful obeisances unto him. I heard it once said that, the Sanskrit touches the spirit, right? So we don't need a translation of that, but our minds need it. Our minds are like, what are we doing to help us out here? So when we read the translation, the mind goes, okay, now I know what I'm saying. And you can get more absorbed, right? So today we're going to read from Canto 10, Chapter 35. Chapter 35 is entitled, The Gopis Sing of Krishna as He Wanders in the Forest. And today we have verses 8 through 11, but they're all in one here. So a very unique situation. We have 4 verses all clumped into one. So let's go to 10:35:8. And today's theme for Bhagavatam class will be glorification of Tulsi Maharani. And Srila Prabhupada, giving Srila Prabhupada as he is. We'll see how those combined here. So we've got quite a few verses here. So what I think we'll do is we'll just read 8, do it, and then we'll move on, okay? Anchara saman vranidita vira Anuchara samanuvanita vira Adi Purusha Ivachala Bhutihi Adi Purusha Ivachala Bhutihi Vanacharo girita sheu teshu charantir. Venuna havyati gahasad yadehi. You know what? We're having fun. Let's just do the rest of them. Vanalatasa tarva atmani vishnum. Vanyanjantya eva puspa paladyaha. Prananta bara vitpa madhudaraha. Prema hrista tanvo varusha sma. Darshanya taliko vanamala. Divya gadyato lasi madhu matehi. Alikulera legum gitam ahistam. Adriyanyarhi sanihita venu. Sarasi sarasya hamsa vihanyagyas. Charu gita hritya chetasa hita. Harimu pasyata teyatra chita. Hanta militya drisho tritya manyaha. Okay, so we have 4 verses here. So let's have one person do 1, and then the next person do 2, and then we'll 3, and then 4, and then we'll get into the translation. Go ahead, number 1. Anuchara samanuvrinita virya. Adi purusya iva chala bhutihi. Vanacharo girateshu tanatir. Venu nagavati sayadahi. No, Sam. Let's let somebody go next. No problem. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Vanadatastarvatamini Vishnum. Vanjanyata eva pushpa faladyaha. Pranata bara vita pamadudara. Prema histatanova susma. Thank you. Anybody else? Want to try the third one? Darshani taliko vanamala. Divya gandhatola simadhu mati. Alikulara lagogitam mahistam. Adri nyayarhi sanida venu. One more. Sarasi sarasya hamsa vihangyash. Charu gita hritya chetasa etya. Harimu pasyata teyata chita. Hanta Milita Drisho Drita Manaha. Translation and purport by the disciples of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Krishna moves about the forest in the company of his friends, who vividly chant the glories of his magnificent deeds. He thus appears just like the Supreme Personality of Godhead, exhibiting his inexhaustible opulences. When the cows wander into the mountainsides, and Krishna calls out to them with the sound of his flute, the trees and the creepers in the forest respond by becoming so luxuriant with fruits and flowers that they seem to be manifesting Lord Vishnu within their heart. As the branches bend low with the weight, the filaments of their trunks and vines stand erect out of the ecstasy of love of God, and both the trees and the creepers pour down in the rain of sweet sap. Wow. Maddened by the divine honey-like aroma of the tulsi flowers on the garland Krishna wears, swarms of bees sing loudly for him, and that most beautiful of all persons thankfully acknowledges and acclaims their song by taking his flute to his lips and playing it. The charming flute song then steals away the minds of the cranes, swans, and other lake-dwelling birds. Indeed, they approach Krishna, close their eyes, and maintain strict silence, worship by fixing their consciousness upon him in deep meditation. Wow. Purport. Srila Vishwanatha Chakravarti Thakur has made several illuminating comments on this verse. He gives the analogy that just as when householder Vaishnavas hear a Sankirtan party approaching, they become ecstatic with and offer obeisances, so the trees and creepers in Vrindavan become ecstatic when they heard Krishna's flute and bowed low with their branches and vines. The word Darshaniya Tilak in text 10 indicates not only that the Lord is most excellent to see, but also that he decorates himself with attractive reddish tilak taken from the mineral-rich earth of Vrindavan forest. Srila Vishwanatha Chakravarti also points out that tulsi, although exalted in many ways, is not normally considered an especially fragrant plant. However, early in the morning, tulsi emits a transcendental fragrance that ordinary people cannot perceive, but that transcendental personalities fully appreciate. Which one of you are smelling tulsi and transcendental? Somebody here, maybe. Yeah. The bees who are privileged to swarm about the flower gardens worn by the Supreme Personality of Godhead certainly appreciate this fragrance. And Srila Vishwanatha Chakravarti quotes from the Bhagavatam 3:15-19 to the effect that the most fragrant plants in Vaikuntha also appreciate the special qualifications of Tulsi Devi. The word Sandita Vinu in text 10 indicates that Lord Krishna placed his flute firmly upon his lips, and the melody emanating from the flute is certainly the most enchanting of sounds, as the gopis describe in this chapter. So we're going to glorify Tulsi. We don't, anyways, very special to be able to glorify her. But one thing I was thinking when I was reading this, I was thinking about how it's explained in the verse that the Sankirtan party. And when I was reading the translation, I was thinking about how everybody's chanting Hare Krishna. You know, it's talking about the creepers and the forest and the branches, and everybody's chanting Hare Krishna. Even it says the glories, his friends are vividly chanting the glories of his magnificent deeds. So they're chanting Hare Krishna. Going out to the forest with Krishna is a big Sankirtan party. We're all just chanting, dancing, and singing, and then they get to feast, you know. But in the purport, especially mentioned is Tulsi. Tulsi Saki Prabhu, can you please hit that link, Bhagavatam 3:15-19? It's in the purport. we'll go right to the translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Although flowering plants like the Mandara, Kunda, Kurbaka, Utpala, Champaka, Arna, Punaga, Negakeshara, Bukala, Lily, and Parijata are full of transcendental fragrance, they are still conscious of the austerities performed by Tulsi. For Tulsi is given special preference by the Lord, who garlands himself with Tulsi leaves. As I reading these flowers, and it's just like, I was thinking, man, what a bummer that I'm in this material world and I can't experience most of these flowers. We're really like trying to enjoy something that just doesn't have the enjoyment that is in the spiritual world. There's flowers that we don't even know about that are the most flagrant. Here's the rose. And nowadays you smell a rose and it's like, you have to squeeze it and massage it so some flavor comes out of the rose. It's ridiculous, Every once in a while, right, you get a nice rose that you're like, whoa. But it's a surprise. It's not even expected nowadays that the rose is nice, right? How about strawberries? Do you remember when people that are maybe a little bit older, do you remember when you were young that strawberries were like almost always good? They always were sweet. But nowadays, like when you get a good strawberry, you're like, oh, wow, it's a strawberry that actually tastes like a strawberry. It's pretty crazy. So we're trying to enjoy something that's just chewing the chewed, right? But let's not be too negative. I'm sorry. Purport. The importance of Tulsi leaf is very clearly mentioned here. Tulsi plants and their leaves are very important in devotional service. Devotees are recommended to water Tulsi tree every day and collect the leaves to worship the Lord. One time an atheistic Swami remarked, an atheistic Swami. What is the use of watering the Tulsi plant? It's better to water eggplant. By watering the eggplant, one can get some fruits. But what is the use of watering a Tulsi? These foolish creatures, unacquainted with the devotional service, sometimes play havoc with the education of people in general. That's a very strong statement. Sometimes play havoc with the education of people in general. The most important thing about spiritual world is that there is no envy among the devotees there. This is true even among the flowers, which are all conscious of the greatness of Tulsi. In the Vaikuntha world entered by the four Kumaras, even the birds and flowers are conscious of the service of the Lord. So Srila Prabhupada has given us everything. As growing up, I went to church. And, I grew up in a Christian culture, this America, And if you would have told me when I was 10, 12, 15, even 18 years old, that 20, 25, 30 years later, that I'd be worshiping a plant, I would tell you you're crazy. I'd be like, what are you talking about? That makes no sense. That must be some kind of weird thing that people do. I have no clue. But when we come in contact with Srila Prabhupada, he gives us something that we can't even imagine. He gives us the right education. He gives us the right perspective. He teaches us about things like the greatness of Tulsi. Each morning, Srila Prabhupada set us up a routine, a way of worshiping throughout the morning, that if we do completely, we become very protected. It's like a coat of arm that you put on yourself when you attend full morning program. It's just so powerful that when you go out in the day and you even are doing so foolish things, there's still a protection that Krishna is giving you, and Srila Prabhupada is giving us that bring us back to him. And so, as I was mentioning, I would be surprised if somebody tried to tell me that I was worshiping a plant, And obviously I'm saying this, I don't mean to make offenses to Tulsi. Obviously I'm saying this in a perspective, right? But interesting enough, that if you read in some of the Christian tradition, Tulsi also has place in it. There's a saint, Saint Helena. And Saint Helena, her duty was to go excavate the holy places of Jesus, his crucifixion, his resurrection, and one other place. Pretty interesting, right? In our tradition, we have this tradition of going and excavating the holy dams, the holy places, right? And so in Christianity, they have also saints that are doing someplace. And she found these places. I don't know if she jumped out of a basket and started dancing like Jagannath Das Babaji, but I'm sure she was pretty touched in the heart. And do you know what was found at the cross? That was the resurrection, the place that he was crucified, and the cross that Jesus Christ was crucified on. She found this. Do you know what was there? Shri Shri Radha Kalashanji Ki Jai. I'll give you one guess. Come on. Holy basil. Holy basil. And so even right there, Tulsi Maharani, in one way or another, right? There's Ram Tulsi, there's different Tulsi. One way or another, Tulsi was there with Jesus Christ. Pretty amazing, huh? However, there's one thing. Radha Kalashanji's trying to go behind the curtain. We've got some Jai, Shri Shri Radha Kalashanji. But something interesting is if you look it up about the significance of holy basil in Catholic, they have this one day where it's actually for Saint Helena, and you can bring your basil and you can get it blessed. Bring your Tulsi and the priest will bless your Tulsi. It's so funny, right? Because in our tradition, Srila Prabhupada, who's given us this great perspective, we get blessings from Tulsi. In the Catholic tradition, and by the way, I'm not making fun of them, it's just funny, right? The point is that Srila Prabhupada has given us something so special to give us the right perspective about what's really going on here. And he's given us the worship of Tulsi each morning. I really love on the Tulsi prayers, the translation. I love the Tulsi prayers, the translation. Maybe we can read it together. I don't know if you want to pull it up, Tulsi, but you can set Tulsi Arti, ISKCON, and it will pull up the prayers to Tulsi that we sing each morning. There's one that's ISKCON Desire Tree specifically. Is really, if you just enter that, you'll see ISKCON Desire Tree up first. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Yes. Ah, yes. Okay, and we'll go to the first thing that we pray is the Tulsi Pranam. Vrindai Tulsi Deviai, Priyaye Kesavashacha, Vishnu Bhakti Pradadevi, Satyavataya Namo Namaha. I offer my repeated obeisances to Vrinda, Sri Mati Tulsi Devi, who is very dear to Lord Keshava. O Goddess, you bestow devotional service to Krishna and you possess the highest truth. So we start this with three. We sing it 3 times when we greet Tulsi. She's brought off the altar and put onto her stand where we get to worship her, and we say this 3 times. And then next, sometimes some temples do it different. Sometimes temples do the English translation and then sing the Tulsi prayers, and then sometimes they do the Tulsi prayers and then sing the English translation. But let's just go verse by verse if we don't mind here. Namo Namaha Tulasi Krishna Prayasi Namo Namaha Radha Krishna Seva Pavo E Abhilasi. O Tulsi, beloved of Krishna, I bow before you again and again. My desire is to obtain the service of Sri Sri Radha in Krishna. When we say this, within our heart, can we really have the attitude that our desire is to obtain the service of Sri Sri Radha in Krishna? Sometimes we just do things because we're on autopilot. We're in our Tesla, and our Tesla's on auto drive, right? And so we just say these things. We call this ritual, right? But if we're conscious of what we're saying, you might find in your heart that you don't have so much of a desire to obtain the service of Sri Sri Radha Krishna. But there's an amazing thing that if you pay attention and you become consciousness of it, Tulsi will help you. Tulsi will actually give you the desire to obtain the service of Sri Sri Radha and Krishna. This is how powerful association is. We're not quite there. We don't quite feel it. We do have some faith and some intelligence to do it. We have that to be here. And Tulsi just takes that. And she's so pleased that she gives us the desire to obtain the service of Sri Sri Radha and Krishna. Ye tomara surana loy tara vancha purna hoy. Kripa kori kora tare vrindabhana vasi. English translation. Whoever takes shelter of you has his wishes fulfilled. By bestowing your mercy upon him, you make him a resident of Vrindavan. What's your wishes? A lot of people nowadays are into, the right mindset, the right attitude, crush your goals, 10x them. As devotees, though, we can be introspective. What is my goals in life? What am I really reaching for? One thing that I've tried to cultivate is Srila Prabhupada has made it very clear to me. Do not stay here. Go back home, back to Godhead. This should be our ultimate goal in life, is to go back home, back to Godhead. Then, this is I'll share in a little bit of my personal kind of perspective. Shri Shri Radha Kalshanji Ki Jai. Maybe you will resonate with this. That's okay if you don't. Then second, then devotional service, then pure devotional service. First, please let me go back home. I don't even know who I am. I have no clue what's going on. Let me please just go back home where I can figure out who I know who I am and I can do my service. Then let me do some pure devotional service. Then third, my inspiration is to spread Krishna consciousness all over the world. I don't trust me, it's embarrassing to even say it, right? It's way beyond it. However, the inspiration by our acharyas is there to try to think in this way. And when you put these three goals together, they look like they kind of, Radha Kalashanji's playing peekaboo with us. When you look at these three goals, they kind of like they conflict. But there is no conflict. There's no conflicting. It's not a timeline, right? Let's go back home, back to Godhead. Let's perform some pure devotional service. And you know what? Heck, while I'm here, I might as well try to spread the Krishna consciousness all over the world, and embarrass myself by even trying to spread it on my block. Shri Shri Radha Kalashanti Ki Jai. Let me try to spread Krishna consciousness in my home. You family, you moms and dads, just try to spread Krishna consciousness to your children, right? Leave us alone. We know more in your, I don't know about you guys, but my kids, they are, it's hard to be close to people and preach to them at the same time, you know what I mean, or encourage them, because you're kind of just taken as, your mom, dad, So heck, it's a little embarrassing to have at least the desire or some desire to preach Krishna consciousness all over the world when you're getting crushed even at the house. But we try. We pray to Srila Prabhupada and Tulsi Maharani that we may be able to do something. Third verse. Mora e abilas vilas kunja deo vas nayana hiribo sada yugala rupa rasi. My desire, okay. We want to know my desire to obtain certain. Now here's another desire. My desire is that you also give me the resonance and the pleasure groves of Sri Vrindavan. Yes, that was what I was talking about. Please take me back home. Thus within my vision, I can always behold the beautiful pastimes of Radha and Krishna. 4. E nivedana dara sakir anagata koro seva adhikara dehe koro nija dasi. I beg you to make me a follower of the cowherd damsels of Braja. Please give me the privilege of devotional service and make me your own maidservant. I remember when I was first, doing morning program, and I heard this line, and I was like, it was totally awkward because, you're in a man's body, you're in a male body, and you're thinking like, make me one of your own servants. So this like kind of this material body identification kind of gets in your way at first of things. But you keep doing it and you're like, no, this, I mean, that would be nice. that would be really nice to be a maidservant of Tulsi Maharani. Wow. Dina Krishna dase koe yena mora hoy, Sri Radha Govinda preme saraje yena basi. This very fallen and lonely servant of Krishna praise may always swim in the love of Sri Radha and Govinda. I believe this song is actually, the author is unknown. Huh? Oh, Dina Krishnadas, thank you. There's one song that we sing in the morning that's unknown. I thought this was it, but Dina Krishnadas. Dina Krishnadas Koi. Oh, wow. Thank you. This very fallen lowly servant praise. Okay. So then we do something after we sing this song. What do we do? Yes, Tulsi's on top of it. Here's Tulsi Saki. Yani Kani Chapapani, Brahma, Hati Tani Cha, Tani Tani Prajasanti, Pranakshana Pade Pade. By the circumambulation of Sri Mati Tulsi Devi, all the sins that one may have committed are destroyed at every step, even the sins of killing a Brahmana. There's a story about a Brahmin who accidentally stole a cow of a Brahmana. And the effects of that were just like so horrible. It's like a bunch of drama, So can you imagine killing a Brahmana? But we circumambulate Tulsi and we get all kinds of sins taken care of. How nice is Srila Prabhupada? How kind is he to introduce us to this? How precious, how wonderful, how kind is Tulsi Maharani to even do this for us. Then we have wonderful devotees who are servants of Tulsi Maharani, like Mother Kunti, who takes care of this Tulsi Kunj. And just in one swoop, you can circumambulate, and you circumambulate 20, 30 Tulsis at a time. Can you imagine how much we're getting, how much Tulsi is giving us, and we don't even know. We have no clue the benefits that we're getting in this Krishna consciousness movement. And Srila Prabhupada, knowing all of it, Srila Prabhupada is completely clear on what's going on it. He gave it to us so that we can share in it, so that we can make progress in Krishna consciousness. So this leads me to the next point that I really wanted to share. We need to grow in our Krishna consciousness in such a way that we become so confident that Srila Prabhupada has given us everything that we have no problem giving Srila Prabhupada as he is. We'll meet people and we might get the opportunity to talk about the Holy Basil. And we can be so confident in Srila Prabhupada, what he's given us, that we can tell people about this. We can tell people, oh, by the way, and understand that this about Tulsi, and this, we should do it nicely. We don't just, somebody walks in the temple and we start telling them about the 3 different levels of planets, and the hellish planets, and the heavenly planets, and that we're on an island. We don't just we need context, we need relevance. But when there is relevance, we should be able to give Srila Prabhupada without any doubts as he is. And I say this because I get concerned sometimes that we start to ho-hum what Srila Prabhupada's given us. We start to think maybe that Srila Prabhupada said things that maybe shouldn't be said, or gave us things that shouldn't be given. As a matter of fact, there's people like the atheistic Swami who use things to educate people wrongly. There's some movements that say that Srila Prabhupada did not give us everything, and if you come to them, they'll give you the real essence. It's horrible. These people, even to your face, will appreciate Srila Prabhupada. And then behind the scenes will be like, but we have the real thing over here. So gross. So disgusting. Srila Prabhupada has given us it perfectly. And so as a movement, we must become very strong in this and giving Srila Prabhupada as he is. See, there's a wonderful, by the way, in that story, there was once a conversation about it. And there was like, what are we going to do? These people are saying this. And one sannyasi, very senior, says, good. When I heard that, I was like, what? Yes. If they don't want to understand Srila Prabhupada as he is, if they don't want to know Srila Prabhupada, if they don't have the ability, or excuse me, I shouldn't say ability, the faith to keep moving through Srila Prabhupada's process that he's given and try to understand and ask questions, let them go other places. Let them go cause problems somewhere else. So when we, in ISKCON, facing, don't give Srila Prabhupada as he is, we soften it, we try to, and by the way, I'm not, again, I said this once, but I just want to be very clear here. I'm not saying don't be intelligent about what you give to people about Srila Prabhupada. I'm simply saying when you have the opportunity, give it as it is. Don't try to apologize for what Srila Prabhupada has given us in any way, shape, or form. He's given us the truth. And if we do that, there's a wonderful thing that will happen. Srila Prabhupada will protect our movement. He will decide in the heart of the people, when they hear truth, whether they belong here or not. Oh, Nanda Braja, are you saying there's people that might not belong in the International Society for Krishna Conscious? We all have our path. We all have what we need to do to progress. And in the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, we really want Srila Prabhupada to protect us and his movement. And if we give him as he is, he'll decide who we invite in and who might need to go somewhere else. By the way, I know that can be pretty strong. Oh, Nanda Braja, go somewhere else. Guys, devotees, please, we do not want to be violent to anyone. Some people need to be put on other paths to progress. And if we try to sugarcoat or gently give it to them, or we're too afraid to give Srila Prabhupada, and for 3 or 4 years they go through our ISKCON, and then finally they're being given the opportunity to read Srila Prabhupada's books, and they go, wait a minute, I didn't know what I was in. I didn't know this. I didn't understand that. And then they have to go through the fight. By the way, a good fight, a positive fight, a fight that we all need to fight. And are we going to trust Srila Prabhupada's words? It's our Kurukshetra within ISKCON. Are we going to work on the faith that we have that Srila Prabhupada is really giving it as it is? And so if we don't be honest and upright and give Srila Prabhupada as it, we actually are cheating people from a process that might be more authentic to them. They might be more comfortable in Christianity. But if we're trying to then we're not giving, we're actually stealing, we're actually committing violence to that person. A few months ago, some time ago, there was there's a program that starts people off with committing to a 4 or 5 week program, and they sign a paper, and then it's an ISKCON program, and they learn and then they commit to another 5 or 6 weeks, and it progresses them. And I was like, wow, this is a really good program. This is a really good idea. And then they said, the first book we introduced to them is blah, blah, blah. I won't name the books because people will start, I'm concerned that people will start hearing me talking about the book or this person who read it, and that's not the point. The point is that they decided that the first introduction to ISKCON would be this book that wasn't written by Srila Prabhupada. And okay, I'm not going to freak out. I want to ask questions. Like, why are we doing this? Why are we introducing this? Oh, because Srila Prabhupada said some very strong things in his books that scare people away. I was like, ouch. Okay. So I can understand, like I said, being intelligent about how we give Srila Prabhupada. But can't we go through Srila Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita and find statements that are okay, that aren't controversial? Maybe we should use our intelligence in that way. Maybe we should go, I'm going to go through Srila Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gitas, and the first thing we're going to teach people is you're not the body. By the way, is there anything in Bhagavad Gita that Srila Prabhupada says very clearly, very concise, without controversy, that we're not the body? Yes. So let's make sure that we are using our intelligence to, yes, give things in context and relevance, but let's also make sure that we're not sidestepping people's introduction to Srila Prabhupada as he is, so that we can help them through it, so that we can guide them through the tough things, and we can encourage them, and then we can actually be nice representatives of Srila Prabhupada. So I mentioned this specifically because we're talking about Tulsi Maharani, and this is far out there, this worship of Tulsi Maharani, and this story that we have. It's almost unbelievable unless you walk the process that Srila Prabhupada's given us, or have something around it. And so because you, me, we're walking this and we're getting some appreciation for Tulsi Maharani, for this appreciation that Srila Prabhupada has given us, let's become very strong in giving Srila Prabhupada as he is, and have faith that Krishna and Srila Prabhupada will help us give the intelligence to help people through things that are tough, like worshiping a plant. And if it doesn't work because of our sincerity, let's not think ourselves failures. Let's understand and encourage that person to find the path that's right with them. Hey, it's okay. No problem. We're just giving Srila Prabhupada as he is. That's all we're doing here. And if it doesn't hit you, if it doesn't stick, hey, I can understand. There's so many wonderful things out there that are true, that are real. Okay, I went 3 minutes over. I'm sorry. It was my first, I'm a little excited I got back. Any questions, comments, thoughts, corrections? Nanda Braja, chill. Yes, Nararai Prabhu. Do we have a mic?
It's kind of funny how Krishna reciprocates. This morning as I was walking from home to come to the temple, I stopped by the Tulsi Kunja, and Radhakrishna Prabhu was doing Arti, and he gave me the garland from Tulsi Maharani.
I saw you lift up, and I was actually thinking, how did he get it? I wonder where he got that garland.
And
right.
It's so funny how, and then I walk in to the temple room and says, today we're going to be glorifying Tulsi Maharani. I was like, wow, it's like some kind of coincidence. And as you mentioned, Tulsi Maharani, the first thing that came to mind is that verse from the 3rd canto. And when we read the purport, we, it's right there. It's so amazing how, Krishna works in mysterious ways. I just wanted to maybe just comment something about you know, you mentioned about, like at the beginning of the class, that the literal meaning is not there in the verse sometimes. So there is, in Sanskrit, there is what is known as Shabdartha. Shabda means words, the meaning of the words, and there is Bhava Artha. Bhava Artha means what is the message that you're trying to convey. And I think you mentioned that when we were reading that verse, Om Ajnana Timirandasya. So there is, the next line is Gnana Anjana Shalakaya.
Yeah.
So what is Shalaka? Does anyone know?
An ointment, right? An ointment?
Does anyone know
Salve?
what's a Shalaka?
A salve?
Shalaka is actually a stick.
Yeah.
An Ayurvedic doctor, if you go to him, if you have any problems with your eyesight, the Ayurvedic doctor takes a Shalaka and pierces your eye with it. But the stick, the Shalaka, also has ointment. And by piercing your eye with the Shalaka, and the ointment goes inside the eye, you're actually able to see, your vision gets restored. So that's what a Shalaka is. So when we read these verses, Gnana Anjana Shalakaya, so basically the spiritual master is piercing our eyes with the ointment of Gnana or knowledge. That's what this verse means. So yes, there is the literal Shabdartha, which is the word to word, but then there is also Bhavartha. And I think what happens is many times people don't understand what is the message that's being trying to being conveyed, and then they just say, oh, you know what, like this is not the actual translation. So that's one thing I just wanted to say, that is, you have to understand what is the Bhavartha, not Shabdartha. That's one aspect. The other aspect I also wanted to comment was the point that Srila Prabhupada did not give us everything. But if you actually, Srila Prabhupada emphasized that everything is in my books. And devotees who've taken the time to read Srila Prabhupada's books, study them seriously, will actually understand that what Srila Prabhupada gave us is probably, I mean, at least I can speak for myself, is a few lifetimes away to realize. So as you were talking about Tulsi Maharani, there's this one verse from the Chaitanya Charitamrita that came to mind. There is, if you can pick it up, it starts with Kasmat Vrinde Priyasaki Hare Padamula Kutasav. If we have time, I can, just because we're speaking about Tulsi Maharani. Is that okay, Prabhu?
Yeah, sure. Tulsi Maharani ki jai.
Yeah, Priyasaki Hare. Yeah, just see. From CC. So this is from Bhagavatam, so you can. Yeah, 4th chapter, Adilila. Yes, that's correct. So this is a conversation that happens between Tulsi Maharani and Srimati Radharani in the pleasure groves of Vrindavan, because that's the topic that was being discussed. So just leave it at the verse, and then we can read the translation. Leave it at the verse, right, if you can. So this verse is from the Govinda Lilamrita, which was also authored by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. And this verse, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami very mercifully puts it in the Adilila. So this translation, the conversation is Kasmat Vrinde Priyasaki Hare Padamula Kutasav. So Radharani is asking, oh Vrinde, what are you doing here in the groves, in my groves? I'm in Radhakund. She's sitting at Radhakund. And you are very dear to Krishna, and you are always at his lotus feet. So then what are you doing here? Right? So you're always beside with Krishna. So this is Radharani got angry with Krishna and she told him not to come. And Krishna, he tried to enter Radhakund, the groves there, to meet with Radharani, and the gopis said, hey, get lost. Don't come here. And Krishna is like a bit, morose that he can't meet Radharani. And so he's just wandering around there. And Vrinda Devi comes because that's her function, is to bring Radha and Krishna's pastimes. So she comes and then Radharani is looking at her and says, Padamula Kutaso. Like, you're always at Krishna's, on Krishna's party, you're always at his feet. So what are you doing here in my party? Kutaso. Another meaning is, where is this rascal? What is he doing? Right? So then the answer, then now Vrinda Devi responds, Kundaranye. So he's actually, Aranya means forest. He's wandering around your forest of Kunda, your Radha Kunda. So that's the response Vrinda Devi gives. And then Radharani asks, Kimiha Kurute. What is he doing? Kimiha Kurute means, what is he doing? And then Vrinda Devi responds, Nritya Siksham. Nritya Siksham means he's learning to dance. Oh, he's learning to dance. And then the next line is Guru Ka. Guru Ka is Radharani. And who's his guru? Who's teaching him how to dance? And then the next, Tvam Tvam Murti. Oh, it's actually your own beloved form, Pratitarulatam. And even all the lata is, all the creepers, Digvidikshus Puranti, and Shailu Shiva, Brahmati Parito, and he's wandering around, Nartayanti Swapaschat, and he's going around mad and waiting to have your association. So we can read the translation, maybe that might help. Oh, my beloved Vrinda, where are you coming from? Right, so this is the first line. I am coming from the feet of Sri Hari. Where is he? In the forest or the bank of Radhakund. And what is he doing there? He is learning dancing. Who is his master? Your image, Tam Tvam Murti, revealing itself in every tree and creeper in every direction, is roaming like a skillful dancer, making him dance behind him. So this is like some conversation that happens. So when we say that Srila Prabhupada didn't give us everything, it's impossible. People who haven't studied Srila Prabhupada's books, they really cannot make that statement. So I just wanted to share that because this topic was, you spoke about Tulsi Maharani, so this is just one example. Sure. And there's so many examples like this from Srila Prabhupada's books, where so many deep esoteric subjects have been spoken about and the philosophy is spoken very deeply. So, thank you.
Thank you. I was appreciating your first comment, understanding the real meaning behind something and just the translation. And who do we need to reveal that for us? The Acharya, the teacher, So they both lead into very nicely is like that Srila Prabhupada is giving us the right vision, the right perspective, the right lens to see, what's really behind the translation. Thank you, Prabhu. Anybody else? Comments? Questions? Thoughts? Yes, Srila Prabhupada's given us everything. Because, okay, so he says in the Nectar of Instruction, he says that in this Krishna conscious movement, we rise before 4 a.m., go to morning service, and then he has a couple of other things, and so on. And he's saying, I've given you this morning program in the International Society of Krishna Consciousness to fortify us, to really give us the strength to be able to push away these people that are trying to use education to distract us. And if we, not only that, but if we follow, we start seeing that we are able to grasp things in such a different way. And I really appreciate what you said about the coincidence of walking past Tulsi Maharani and getting a garland. Because isn't that what our life becomes as devotees? I don't know about you, but Krishna provides so many opportunities where amazing things like that happen. And I really just think, man, I don't know who, well, I know that it's my spiritual master's mercy. I know it's Srila Prabhupada's mercy. But it's an adventure. What's next what next coincidence is gonna pop up? What question do I have that I just start reading and all of a sudden there it is? It's so amazing the adventure that we're living as devotees. But people sometimes say, but Prabhu, I'm not living in that adventure. And I would say, are you reading Srila Prabhupada's books? Are you following the process as best as you can? I'm not trying to make people feel bad. We have our jobs and stuff like that. But we should do the best we can to provide ourselves with the process that Srila Prabhupada has given us in 16 rounds, 4 regular principles, and morning program and Gora Arti, as much as we can. As much as we can, we should try to read his books. And you'll see more and more your life becomes an adventure. It becomes moments like Narahari Prabhu is sharing, where just magic things happen. And it's just like, so fun. And it's tough too. There's definitely the times where the false ego gets hurt and we have to grow, right? The other day I was in Mangala Arti, because we're all family here. I'll share a little bit of drama that's going on. It's okay. Don't relax. Oh my gosh, Nanda Brenda's talking about drama. It's okay. It's okay. So I just got my first day back after traveling, and we're doing a string of prayers, and there's a devotee who's leading, and I'm playing kartals, and they stop right in the middle of the string of prayers and say, play the kartals right. You're off rhythm. If you can't play them right, then stop. And I was like, man, there's a few things that I know I don't do right, but usually I play the kartals pretty okay. So I was like, man, I didn't know. So I was like, okay, fine. I put him down. And I was like, I guess I won't play. So it gets over. And a couple of other devotees, the older devotees, hey, don't worry about that. That person just, anyways, don't worry about that. And one of them, I grew up in music and I was a director, even became a director. So my ear's pretty in tune, and you were fine. And I was like, okay, thank you. And I came up with the conclusion that, in every family you have a crazy uncle. You have a crazy uncle, and it's just the way it is, you know what I mean? But the nephew's job isn't to correct the uncle, right? It's the other uncle's job to correct them and stuff. And so the point being is that I know in my younger days in devotional, that could have thrown me off for 3 days. I could have been disturbed, But because my Guru's mercy and Srila Prabhupada's mercy, I was able to process it in a way that actually became a benefit to me. Wait, we're family. I know all of these devotees are trying the best they can. I have bad days. And in my bad days, you know what I'd hope? I'd hope somebody would go, you know what, Nanda Braja's not usually like that. He must just be having a bad day. So when something happens around me and somebody's acting a little funny, I want to give them the same, this is my family. You know what, sometimes my family's crazy, but you know what, no big deal. And the next day you show up for Mangalarti and everything's okay, right? So we come, this faith that Srila Prabhupada gives us such an amazing adventure that we live through, and everything becomes, if we want and choose to be, something that helps us grow in our Krishna consciousness, helps us mature, helps us progress towards Krishna. And part of that is understanding Tulsi Maharani and her greatness and Srila Prabhupada's greatness. And I thank you all for being here. Thank you all of you in YouTube land. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaura Pramanande Hari Hari Bo. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Antikoti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi ki jai.